Every year, billions of dollars are poured into megaprojects, grandiose and ambitious feats of engineering and architecture. But not all of these projects live up to the hype. Some have been left abandoned, unfinished, or underutilized, like ghostly monuments to failed dreams. In this video, we're going to explore 5 of the most useless megaprojects in the world and analyze what went wrong, from ghost cities to grandiose airports with no planes. We'll look at the politics, economies, and planning that went into these projects and analyze what could have been done differently. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button on your screen and turn on the notification bell as we unravel the most useless megaprojects in the world and see what lessons can be learned from their failures. 1. The Ciudad Real Central Airport in Spain. After costing a whopping 1 billion euros, the airport came to life boasting a single runway, measuring 4,100 meters in length and 60 meters in width, ranking among the longest runways in Europe. Its infrastructure was purposely designed to accommodate various commercial aircraft, including the Airbus A380. The passenger terminal was engineered to efficiently handle 2 million passengers annually, expandable to 10 million with additional modules. Cargo facilities were geared to manage up to 47,000 tons per year. Further, the airport incorporated dedicated areas for private and sports flights, with road access to the A41 motorway. Planned expansions encompassed a maintenance area, a heliport, and an extensive 8-kilometer industrial zone. A footbridge of 300 meters linked the terminal to the Madrid-Seville high-speed rail line, intended for a railway station. Although this transport link was never initiated, its completion would have established Ciudad Real Airport as Spain's first to connect to the AVE rail network, potentially reducing travel times to Madrid and Cordoba to 50 to 60 minutes. Surprisingly, the airport commenced operations in 2009, initiating flights to Palma de Mallorca via Air Berlin, among other routes. Ciudad Real Airport started handling international flights in June 2010, with Ryanair launching its first international service. The airline operated 3 weekly flights from London Stansted until its demise on 11 November of that year, having flown about 22,000 people into or out of the airport. The route was canceled due to a breakdown in trade agreements with Ryanair and financial issues at the airport. Vueling, a Spanish low-cost carrier, became the airport's sole carrier at this moment, operating flights to Barcelona, Paris, and Palma de Mallorca until its service was terminated on October 29, 2011. Financial hardships emanated from a debt of 300 million euros, and it led to bankruptcy in 2012, seizing all airport activities for over 7 years. The airport's closure was primarily attributed to several factors. Initial construction challenges arose from oversight in planning, including the location within a bird special protection area, and amidst the inactive Campo de Calatrava volcanic field. EU regulations necessitated environmental measures, delaying the airport's opening. Madrid's Barajas airport expansion further diverted potential traffic from Ciudad Real, compounded by an absence of a high-speed rail station. The financial crisis in Spain during the airport's early years led to severe decline in air traffic, worsened by the bankruptcy of major investors. 2. The new capital city of Myanmar, Naypyidaw. Back in 2002, Myanmar's ex-military heads agreed to kickstart a whole new capital construction. This kind of move wasn't new, as it echoed similar changes in Pakistan, Brazil, and Egypt. But Myanmar kept a lid on the name of their new capital, Naypyidaw, which means the king's residence, until they spilled the beans in November 2005. People guessed all sorts of reasons for the big move, from security worries to even astrological tips. But really, it all boiled down to Yangon, the old capital, which was set up for British needs and had its limits. Naypyidaw got built up big time, with a whopping $4 billion thrown into infrastructure. It got all the bells and whistles to attract folks, except one crucial thing: people. Despite its grandness, the place is mostly empty because it lacks proper healthcare, education, and jobs. So Naypyidaw is like a ghost town, with less than 1 million people living mostly on the outskirts. The place looks abandoned, with huge, barely used highways, almost empty malls, and hotels where you could practically hear a pin drop. There's an airport that could handle masses of people, but only a fraction of it gets used. Despite its lonely current vibe, Naypyidaw could be a promising city for a bigger future crowd, but right now it's one of the weirdest and most unused capitals out there. 3. The Interstate H3 in Hawaii. The most beautiful freeway in Hawaii also happens to be the most contentious. It might also be claimed that it's the most beautiful and possibly the most contentious interstate in the entire United States. The H3 highway, which people refer to as the John A. Burns Freeway, is a remarkable 26-kilometer roadway that traverses breathtaking landscapes. Initially proposed in 1960, the highway aimed to link the Pearl Harbor Naval Base to the Marine Corps Air Station, a move seen as logical and beneficial infrastructure development. However, this vision faltered due to concerns raised by environmental groups and Native Hawaiians, who feared the encroachment of urbanization on their cherished land. The project faced a staggering 26-year delay due to stringent environmental regulations, finally commencing construction in 1989. The construction process was an engineering marvel, navigating challenging terrains and employing cutting-edge technologies. Upon its opening in 1997, the highway drew admiration for its stunning beauty and impressive engineering, yet it wasn't universally celebrated. Criticism surfaced regarding its indirect route to downtown Honolulu, branding it a road to nowhere. Moreover, the project's impact on culturally significant sites for Native Hawaiians stirred controversy. To compound matters, the highway's construction cost soared to an exorbitant $1.3 billion, earning it the title of the world's most expensive cost per kilometer. If you think you've heard the worst of these megaprojects, wait till you hear the next one. 4. Introducing Malaysia's Forest City. Forest City stands as a monumental, yet deeply contentious, chapter in Malaysia's development saga. Envisioned as a $100 billion endeavor, this expansive venture covers 1,740 hectares, a landmass dwarfing city-state Monaco by fourfold. It was conceived to house a thriving community of 700,000 residents. However, the reality starkly contrasts this grand vision. Reports from 2019 revealed a paltry population of merely 500 individuals within this vast expanse, barely scratching the surface of its intended populace. Over time, there's been a slight uptick in the resident count, yet it remains a mere fraction, lingering at a few thousand souls representing less than 5% of the original expectation. The predicament facing Forest City reverberates through its deserted streets and vacated businesses. Once bustling with enterprises like the renowned Chinese restaurant Shun De Gong and the esteemed Singaporean wedding company Vinless, these establishments now stand dormant, closed, and abandoned for over 2 years, casting a haunting ambience over the once promising landscape. In the same vein, the figures echo a divergent tale. Country Garden, the visionary behind Forest City, initially poured 20 billion ringgit, $4.3 billion, into the colossal project, which is a stark contrast to the initial blueprint of 100 billion. Presently, despite 7 years in development, the township shelters fewer than 10,000 inhabitants, a mere 1% of its originally projected occupancy. Forest City's saga embodies the perilous gambit embarked upon by Country Garden and its compatriots in the Chinese real estate realm. This fight against a debt-fueled construction boom, both domestically and across international waters, has magnified the hazards faced by the city. The struggle with inadequate cash flow and a looming wall of repayment obligations further compounds Country Garden's challenges. Analysts cast doubt on the company's ability to infuse additional capital into the project, indicating the daunting prospect of escalating adversity. The prospects continue to shadow Forest City as a revenue upturn from the development remains a distinct possibility. The hurdles faced by the Chinese developer not only imperil its financial standing, but also cast a formidable shadow over the once ambitious and controversial development in Malaysia's historical landscape. 5. The Yuka Mountain Nuclear Waste Repository in the United States. Perhaps the most heartbreaking out of these projects is the Yuka Mountain Nuclear Waste Repository in the U.S. Yuka Mountain, situated in Nevada, USA, emerged as a proposed solution for the long-term storage of high-level radioactive waste, such as spent nuclear fuel, in 1987. Although the U.S. Congress approved the project in 2002, political opposition led to the cessation of federal funding in 2011, effectively halting the initiative. Multiple factors contributed to the cessation of the project. Foremost among these were concerns surrounding the geological integrity and geographic suitability of the site, with unresolved issues of hydrology, repository design, and the potential risk of volcanic activity. In addition, Yuka Mountain's spatial limitations became evident. Its storage capacity of 77,000 metric tons fell short of accommodating the nation's extensive inventory of over 70,000 metric tons of nuclear waste distributed across various sites. The transportation of waste to Yuka Mountain posed substantial risks to the public, considering that more than 120 million individuals lived in proximity to the proposed transportation routes via truck and train, potentially endangering lives in the event of an accident or deliberate attack. Adding to the concerns, the establishment of the repository could have inadvertently created alluring targets for terrorist activities, given the extensive plans for transporting over 100,000 shipments of spent fuel to Yuka Mountain. Notably, an enormous investment of $7.5 billion has already been allocated to this project, and estimates suggest that an additional $96 billion would be necessary to complete the endeavor, further complicating the financial aspect. Presently, the remnants of the Yuka Mountain site comprise only a boarded-up exploratory tunnel. Essential facilities for receiving and handling, waste disposal tunnels, waste containers, and transportation casks are yet to be realized, painting a picture of an ambitious project left incomplete and unresolved. These are just a few of the heavy mega projects that have been put on hold for one reason or another. This leaves us wondering how beneficial these funds would have been if they were used to solve more pressing issues in these countries. All the same, we hope they kick off soon and achieve their initial goals. Which one of these projects do you wish to see up and running? Mention them in the comments section below. To encourage the work we do, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel if you didn't do that earlier. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.